klockan 7 då? Ja, det är bara cykla.
One kilometer into the ride, the 400 kilometer east coast of Sweden. We're going up here from Bollna and north to Sundsvall, and then slightly different way on the way back. It's a little chilly. It's the temperature is it's just 8 or 9 degrees. Once we start moving, it's really no problem. It feels okay. So we're 17 kilometers into the ride, and the route has been doing lots of switches between these minor roads like this and more major roads. Although with little traffic, it's still quite early in the morning. It's 7:40 on a Saturday morning. So the first control is at 80 kilometers. That's actually the longest stretch. The rest of them are like 50-60 kilometers. And what's also nice about Sweden here compared to more remote areas in Norway where we usually ride is that the petrol stations and shops are usually open for longer hours. So at all of the controls today except the last one, we'll be able to find resupply. We just need to stock up at 310 kilometers. So when we have 90 remaining, that's no problem. That's roughly the same as this stage. So I have my 2 side pockets on the bike, 1 frame bag on each side of the bike under the seat, and I have 1 bottle of water in each, and I also have a bag of sugar in one of them, and some candy and food. And then at the bottom of the bike, in between the wheels, I have a 3rd frame bag. That one is full with tools, spare tubes, and some pharmaceuticals. And then I have my radical bag behind my head. That one has got a jacket, a rain jacket, and not much more. And I also have a small bag under the boom in front here, and that one has got some sunscreen and my power bank and some charging cables. We're heading east. To the coast. Look at this road. It's beautiful. So the terrain here is quite interesting because in one way it's quite flat. But on the other hand, we have actually a combined elevation now of 500 meters so far in 54 kilometers. So it is almost 10 meters of elevation per kilometer, and that is frankly what I'm used to when I ride at home. So it's not really flat, but beautiful roads, good quality surface, no potholes really, and very light traffic. It's beautiful. My heart rate sensor and my Garmin, well, my heart rate sensor is also a Garmin, but they're not playing well together right now. Constantly disconnecting and reconnecting. Looks like it's stabilized now. Maybe it's interference because I was close to the other riders, but I mean it should of course handle that. Yeah, we have less than 10 kilometers until we're on the coast, and then we're turning north. So the route is basically, it's like a figure 8. So there are 2 loops basically with some shared route in between them. The bike is handling very well. I am rolling past the others in the gentle descents, but at the same time, when we have these short climbs, I can feel that I have to work, I mean relatively harder there, of course, in order to keep up. So we're at 68 kilometers. So we only have 12 left now until the first control. We already had one P-break at 40 kilometers. Yeah, so here I have to push on a bit. Here it's 6%, and I need to push at least as hard as the other ones. My heart rate is up to 155 here. So now we're a short distance on a more major road. Still light traffic though. Now the other riders actually have quite a big gap on me now, so. But now it's flat, so it should be fine. I'm now just cruising at 130 in heart rate, and I'm doing 46 kilometers per hour here. I think it was a slight descent, and here it's flat, and I'm now down to 41 kilometers per hour. So I actually did a full 80 kilometers on my first bottle. The temperature has been a little bit low now. It's 16 degrees. It's heating up. So some of the riding here now is also test riding for the length of Sweden in 1 month. So it's nice to know, yeah, what kind of speed we are keeping on this kind of terrain, and how much water I'll be drinking and stuff like that. This should be the first control. We're at 84 kilometers. I thought it should be at 80. So yeah, here it is. It's a short gravel section. I've noticed now that the other guys have increased the pace, particularly on the climbs. So on the last one back here, I had to go above 160 beats per minute in order to keep up. And now, while I was looking at the Garmin, I already have a gap in front of me here. It's no problem though, because as soon as the climb is over, I catch up to them again. It was the same thing on the gravel back there. So passing 100 kilometers there. So the route, I said the route is like a figure 8. It's a bit of an odd shape of that figure of 8, because there's this long stretch in the middle here that's connecting the two loops. So where we're riding now, we're going to be riding on the way back as well. We're heading north here, and it does feel like favorable wind conditions. We just got started on the northern loop of the route, and we're at 126 kilometers. Starting to feel it a little bit in my legs now. Also, the pace has been pretty good, so there are some strong riders here. So we have just 2 kilometers left to the checkpoint, where we'll be turning north. And yeah, the dynamics in the group has definitely changed a bit, because we're at the point where everybody no longer has fresh legs. So here we are, Hassela. Now we are heading up possibly the longest climb of the route, but it's only 100 meters of elevation, so it's more cloudy now. There's some ominous looking cloud above us. Just a note about the gearing that I'm using here now. I'm using my third gear on this climb, which is 6%. So third gear on a 34 front and 1134 cassette, whichever the third gear of that is. Also, there was this gravel road that we had earlier. Then I needed to use my second gear. So after the climbs and after the last control, we got up to about 250 meters of elevation. So now we're into some easier terrain with some gentle descents and stuff like that. So we're making good progress now to Sundsvall. And so that's on the coast, so that should be at sea level. So that will be the turnaround point. That's where we're heading south again. We're going to be crossing a big bridge. There's a really dark cloud ahead. It feels like it is about to start raining, but hopefully we'll avoid it. We've done most of the descending now, and actually it's a bit windy, and I am running these deep carbon wheels, 50 on the front and 88 on the rear. So the bike does get a little bit nervous at speed, so I'm actually the least confident of us here now on the fast descents. But I think we are, yeah, like I said, we are down to 50 meters now, so we're probably done with those descents now. There's actual wet tarmac here. That's not a good sign. Getting quite cold now. did get quite undulating on this stretch into Sundsvall. It's up and down. It's not very steep, but it's all these little climbs all the time. So yeah, we are getting quite a lot of elevation. This is Sundsvall. Alright, and now off to that bridge, which is the actual control point. What's going on here?
Jag har ingen aning, jag har ju aldrig cyklat här förut. Du har ju åtminstone ritat på kartan. Ja, och jag tror att jag tog cykelbana här under.
By the way, we also passed 200 kilometers, so this really is spot on the halfway point, even though we're taking a different route back. Is the road blocked? No, not for us. Oh, can I do this? Oh. All right. Right, so this is the actual control. Vad sker nå? Kom det ikke likevel? Did I tell you about the Swedish road maintenance? Just look at this new fresh tarmac here. So on this ride we are using a new mobile phone application for well, checking in to the controls. But the funny thing is that at the top of the bridge, so this application uses geolocation, so you have to be at the correct spot when you check in. And so one of the controls was at the top of this bridge, and for me it worked fine. I was able to check in immediately, but some of the others that stopped like 10 meters ahead of me or something, they were not in range, and yeah. Anyway, we spent some time faffing with that. So I guess that's technology, isn't it? We are navigating our way through some cycle paths outside of Sundsvall. So hopefully we'll get on a proper road soon. Oh, so we should have been here. Oi. Is this the correct way? We are not sure.
Ja, vi åker upp här. Det blir bra.
All right, that wasn't too bad. But yeah, this is definitely slowing us down a bit. Doesn't matter though, we have all day. So we have used 8.5 hours so far. Yeah, it'll be about midnight. We'll be back at around midnight, I think. It was a bit painful getting out of Sundsvall with all the roadworks, because there were so many edges in the tarmac where the others could just bunny hop over it, but I had to slow right down. And yeah, but finally we're out on some nice stretches of road here, making good progress again. We're at 224 kilometers, so I think we have 26 to our pizza stop. We got some significant headwind here, so I put myself in front so I can try to protect the others a little bit. Another gravel road. Hope it's not very long. Yeah, this is pretty tough. So there's a junction in 3.5 kilometers. So I'm hoping that's the end of the gravel. Looks like we're having a pee break. So after those 3.5 kilometers, I did not get on a new road, but I got a new indication on the Garmin that says another kilometer or so to the next junction. Getting really hungry now. We're supposed to be stopping, in about 10 kilometers for food, so I've been saving up for that. Some great tarmac. An unexpected extra gravel section. Tarmac. Good. So it's a little bit longer to the food stop than I was led to believe. So yeah, we have 10 kilometers. I'm getting really hungry now, so looking forward to that. So we are getting close to finishing that upper loop on the figure 8 on the course. So we just finished this coastal road now, which is good actually, because it wasn't the best road for this bike. So now we've turned west, so we'll get a little bit more inland before we get back on one of the roads we already rode earlier today. So finally I've managed to consume all my water. I had 3 large bottles, and I filled one of them once. So I've basically had 4 bottles now in 250 kilometers and 10.5 hours. It would have been different, of course, if it was super hot today. It's still only 14 degrees. But that's quite nice actually. Yeah, I made it to the food place, which is also a control. I don't know where to eat though, but the others are right behind me. So actually only two of the Swedes are behind us here now, because we kind of split up behind there, but the others will catch up with us. Aye. So we are just leaving Gnarp after our pizza stop. That was good. Now we have a relatively short stage, 50 kilometers, to basically the last resupply point. So this is where we are back on the road that we did earlier today. And we are passing 300 kilometers there. And we have 10 kilometers to the second to last control at Hudiksvall. And that is going to be the final place where we'll be able to resupply. I'm gonna put on my jacket as well, because it's getting quite cold. It's now 11 degrees. We are ready to finish this now. We have one control left, but there's nothing there except registering, so alright, we have 40 kilometers to go further south, and then we turn west for another 46 kilometers to the finish.
We left Bollna in the morning light. On our bikes we took to flight. Swedish friends by my side, riding with the wind as our guide. Pedal hard through the forest path. To Hassela we made a stop at last. Coffee strong warmed our soul. This feeling you just can't control. Oh, the wheels keep turning round through the hills and through the town.
So we are turning west now.
Memories will hold on tight, riding back in the cool night. Took some pictures on Sundsvall's bridge. Look out yonder to the mountain ridge. Smiles broad, we posed in line. Captured moments, hearts will bind. Night fell as we turned back home. Under stars we felt so alone. Yet together right by my friends. This journey, it just never ends.